Hello everyone. Welcome back to Year Walk. For some reason I keep wanting to call it the Yog, but that is a different game. Still a good game, but different. Um Welcome back to Year Walk. So this is probably going to be the last episode. And I'm kind of using a walkthrough. I say kind of because I kind of want to do this mostly on my own, but I will use it to guide. So last time we left off, we got a message that said north of the mill, south of the brook. Where is the mill? Oh. Oh, maybe it's on the map. The Theo Alm 68. Let me write this down. Theo Alm 68. So that's the mill. South of what? The brook here. 1894. Okay, cool. What do we need that for? Is it for this? Oh my god. I thought it was gonna be like legit a journal. I mean, it probably is, but I'm gonna guess. Whoops. Okay, and then 1894? And I know there's gonna be a lot of reading. Theodore or something. Okay, cool. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of reading. I don't know if I will read all of this. But I'll probably read all of this and then just, I don't know. We'll find out. August 4th, hello new system. August 6th, testing photo uploads. It works. August 13th, should probably write here more often. August 17th, read about every book on Swedish folklore there is. Surprised how little it has been written about yearwalking. Need more sources of information. That looks like a spooky book. Talk to ES. He suggested some field work. Might be good, but I feel like I might be 30 years too late. Been talking to elderly folks eating cookies and drinking coffee. Their knowledge about yearwalking has been limited to say the least. Barely any of them knew what it was. If they did, they had heard stories as children, but forgotten the details. Thinking ES sent me on a wild goose chase. Interviews at the retirement home. May I never grow old. The last interview was intriguing if very brief. Talked to one Astrid Jansen? She was over 100 years old, clear at times, did not know a lot about folklore, but she did claim that her grandfather's brother had once yearwalked. Sadly, she did not know his name. He had died many years before she was born. Might have to look into it. Her maiden name was Fenson, which leaves me with a lot of possibilities. She was born in Vedtorp, and I can only hope that her grandfather was as well. More interviews, nothing worth mentioning. Professor Asp called today. He hinted that the faculty wanted to take part in my research. Svensson. Two Svensons? Okay. Followed up my visit to the retirement home in the early 20th century. There were 6 households in Vedtorp, which means the surname Svensson according to the church book. Oh, okay. With the surname. Astrid was born in 1913. Her grandfather was named Carl Frederick. He had 2 brothers. One died in 1942. The other brother, Daniel Svensson, who I'm pretty sure is the guy that we were playing as, if memory serves, died in 1895. Since Astrid said that her great-uncle died before she was born, Daniel is the one that supposedly yearwalked. A miller apprentice, going to the library to check out old newspapers tomorrow. 1895. Our password was 1894. Why is that? Looked for reference of Daniel Svensson in old newspapers. I'm grasping at straws. Another day at the library, nothing of interest. Bored, I'm about to give up. Excited! The newspapers finally mentioned Daniel Svensson. He was apparently arrested for the murder of a young woman in Vedtorp. Yeah, that's kind of what I remember happening. Information is scarce. Her name was Stina Nielsen, and she was a miller's daughter. Her body was found on a field outside of the village. She had been stabbed multiple times. The library should be open longer. I hope I can find any reference to his supposed yearwalk. So, yeah, that's kind of the story that I remember is Stina was the woman that we met at the very beginning. We were playing as Daniel, who year walked, and the body that we found was hers, and supposedly Daniel stabbed her. Not sure why, though. I can't really remember. I played this years ago. The motive behind the murder seems to have been jealousy. Not many details. Apparently, Stina was going to marry Lucas Tapper. She was on her way home from Lucas's parents when she was intercepted by Daniel. She was found the following morning, just 17 years old. Dang. I feel a tad guilty about my excitement yesterday. After all, there is a great tragedy behind all of this. I kind of wonder what all of this actually says. The press seemed to have lost interest in the case after a while, found nothing today. Maybe ES can tell me something. Who's ES? Had a long talk on the phone with ES. The murder case was unknown to him. He had, however, spent a lot of time in Vedtorp during the 60s when he studied folklore in the area. There had been a rather peculiar runestone that seemed to predate the Viking Age. ES claims there was a definite connection between the symbols on the stone and year walking. He could not tell how. Want to check it out. Went to the library again in case I missed something about Daniel. Indeed I had. Found another article. Feeling upset and a little bit sad, borrowed the article just in case. Borrowed it or stole it? Perhaps there is more to learn about Daniel. Booked a hotel room in Vedtorp. Arrived in Vedtorp. It's a small place. One street cuts through the village. It's a rather depressing place, to be fair. The weather would not do any place justice. The hotel is empty besides me and a group of dog toy manufacturers who are a bit on the noisy side. Must ask chef for the veal recipe. Got a map from the hotel owner. Excited about the archive. Have the feeling that I will find something major. Just got back from the archive. An interesting place. Sadly, it's only open 4 hours a day. It's understandable since I was the only visitor. Possibly found the files I need. Tomorrow, reading. Lots of it. I knew it! The archive has exceeded my wildest dreams. On New Year's Eve, 1893, Daniel Svensson did indeed year walk. He died 2 years later, right? 85? Yeah, 95, sorry. The court records refer to this year walk at several occasions. I have just started to scratch the surface. There must be beliefs hidden amongst these papers that have been forgotten for ages. Amazing. This is by far the latest recorded year walk. So, 93 is when he year walked. So we can assume 94, which was our password. Something maybe happened then? I mean, that was when she was supposed to give an answer to the dude that she was going to marry, right? So a year later he killed her? I hope I'm excused for borrowing the file from the archive. They gave me little choice since they are closed during the weekend. Yeah. Could not sleep last night, too excited by the files. I feel you, dude. I get that way too. Much of the records are of a legal nature, but there are relevant passages. Daniel claimed he knew that he would murder Stina after seeing it in a vision on this year walk. Sadly, the scribe has not bothered to take it all down and occasionally just refers to it as ramblings of a madman. Poor boy. There are certain elements that are new to me. Must write them down in detail later on. Need fresh air. Daniel's cabin, Solsorten, is briefly mentioned in the protocol. We'll ask around about it. Hope it still exists. That's interesting. So he knew it and he still did it? Did he get, possessed? I'm kind of curious about that. Oh, hey, it's the box. Interesting. You're just chilling out there, huh? Drove around for hours in the forest today. These are woods to get lost in. Asked for directions from every local. Most people have never heard of the cabin. Was about to give up when I met an old man. His aunt had lived there till the 60s. From then it had 3 different owners that used it as a summer house until the mid-80s. The last family that owned the cabin only stayed there one summer. Their 5-year-old son drowned in a brook nearby. Uh-oh. And after that they never returned. Nobody has lived there since. The old man's nephew owned the land. I asked the old man if I could pay it a visit. He did not think there could be anyone that would mind. The cabin is situated in the deep forest. No sign, no roads, just a narrow path. This was the place where he started his year walk over 100 years ago. Felt overwhelmed by the thought, could not enter. It's a lonely place. The only other building I could find in the area was an underground storehouse. Guess it might have belonged to the cabin. It was too dark to see anything, but I can't imagine there would be anything of significance in there. On my way back to the car, I found a strange box. What an odd thing to leave in the middle of the forest. Seems to be more or less mint condition. Could not resist taking it. We took the box. this box in mint condition more than 100 years later. Tonight I need whiskey, and lots of it. Spooky. Spooky scary. Okay. Went to Vedtorp Church today. It's a small white stone church, but in the 12th century. Or built in the 12th century, sorry. The place where the church stands has been used for worship even earlier than that. According to the priest I met, he showed me around the premises. Put a bouquet of flowers on Stina's grave. Seem appropriate. The almost unlikely somber epitaph read, in memory of our loving daughter, Stina Nilsson. She died in 94? So... Wait. So in 93, he did his year walk, knew that he was going to murder her. A year later, when she was supposed to give her answer, he murdered her. And a year after that, he died? Her cries for mercy could not sway his hand. Depressing. Searched for Daniel's grave, but there was no stone, and according to the priest, there probably never was. The gravestones E.S. told me about are gone. The priest is not sure where they are or when they disappeared. Weather has been unreasonably bad. Spent the day in the county archive. Had trouble concentrating. Tried to locate a photograph of Daniel Svensson, but no luck. The clerk explained that a lot of stuff was lost when the files were moved from the regional archives back in 1976. Apparently there was another murder case in Vedtorp in the early 1890s. Elisa Rasmussen drowned 4 infants in a creek. Oh. Are those the 4 that we met? She was an angel maker who received foster children from poor unmarried mothers. Lisa promised to find the babies good homes in exchange for a hefty sum of money. This was all a charade. As soon as the mothers had paid what little they owed, she drowned their children in a nearby creek. All files from that trial have been lost. Outrageous. Think I'm done with the archive. Been thinking a lot about that church. Yeah. Strange day. The runestone E.S. talked about is not marked on any map. Talked to the man at the service station. He drew me a rather primitive map. Oh yeah, that is very primitive. Searched the stone for a long time, almost gave up, found it at last. Felt compelled to touch it. Had the strangest sensation of looking beyond. Beyond what? The feeling lasted for quite some time. Heading home today, wish I had more time. The stone is old. Oh, that's definitely it. Might predate Christianity, but I fail to see how it's connected to year walking. I could not resist stopping by the church on my way home. Walked around it for a bit. It's a pretty church, not remarkable, but there's something about it. Feel that the church and the stone are connected somehow. They probably are. That's the box. Do you think these are like actual photos, or do you think these are like fake photos? Sorry, I'm moving my hair. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's tickling my ear. But like, do you guys think that these are fake photos and like pseudo illustrations with photos in them, or do you think that box actually exists? I'm just curious. Found the box when I unpacked, had almost forgotten about it. It seems to have some lock-like construction, but I have yet to understand exactly what it is or how to open it. It reminds me of one of those puzzle boxes. The wheel with the symbols suggests it's opened by entering a password. It must be old. Maybe E.S. knows something about it. Decided not to tell E.S. about the box. He might not appreciate that I took it with me. He's always nagging me about ethics. Okay, we're on the 7th. How many more are there? Quite a lot. Quite a lot. So we have to go all the way to January. Okay. So, October 7th. Busy week. Classes and meetings. This faculty is really getting in the way of my research. Feeling a bit strange. I've had weird dreams ever since I came back from Vedtorp. Odd dreams. Let's party, Theo. Dreamt that I was in a vast wasteland. I was searching for the keys to my locker together with Jenny from high school. We laughed and dug in the sand. Suddenly the sky lit up and Jenny, The sky lit up and Jenny pointed to a simple constellation of stars. She whispered in my ear to never forget it. Okay. So, will not forget that symbol. Upside down triangle. Chugati. Read an account of a year walk by a man called Ramadal in an old book I came over at a used bookshop. Sorry. Ramadal's story is a little more than a tall tale told by a drunken oaf. Most of them seem to be. Daniel sticks out. It haunts me. 'Cause it's real, maybe? Held a lecture on year walking. Several faculty members attended it. They ridiculed me in front of the students. Why? Year walking is so interesting. Another strange dream. I was doing homework, was stressed because the oil lamp was running out of oil. And when it did, the pale horse outside the window would come inside. The lamp burned out and everything went black. Woke up soaked in sweat. That's not spooky at all. Pale horse, eh? Must remember to buy groceries. Fiddled with the box, but I have no clue how to open it. Frustrating. I kind of want to get this as a tattoo. What jealous, small-minded, greedy creatures the faculty members are. And they will undoubtedly create small-minded, jealous, and greedy students. Yeah. Don't feel the need to share any of my research with the faculty anymore. They don't deserve to read something that my hand has written. They would not understand it anyways. Yeah. I feel like teachers in general deserve a lot more respect than they get because it's a really freaking tough job. But at the same time, as someone who trained to be a teacher for a little bit and like went to school to be a teacher, that shit's really classist and fucked up. So not surprising that they would all laugh at him and his ideas and his research and stuff because it doesn't fit with what is like societally acceptable. But you'd think education would be more open to new ideas and interesting things, but a lot of the time it's actually very narrow-minded, which is part of the reason why I was like, I don't want to be a teacher then, because I want to educate people and we can all learn from each other and we can open up minds and whatever. And education, the way that I had learned it, was just like, no. You need to follow strict guidelines. You cannot teach certain things. You cannot talk about certain things. You cannot focus on certain things. You can only focus on these things. These are the things that we want to push. These are the agendas we want to push. That was like what I had learned in training to be a teacher. So I decided not to do that because I don't agree with that. The thought of what is inside the box is like an itch that can't be scratched. I've searched for references to anything about it, but I have found nothing that resembles it at all. Oh, it has the myling and the crow on the side. I didn't even notice the sides. Can we see the sides? Having more strange dreams. Something happened in those woods. Is year walking a mere vision quest? Are the visions brought on by lack of light and food? Yes, believe so. Not so sure. Light? I think yes. Dreamt of the runestone. Was in the forest outside Vedtorp. Mrs. Broman was walking up to me. I was very afraid. She said that I had been a bad boy and broken the rules. Before I could defend myself and tell her that I did not mean to be naughty, she withered into dust. I found myself in front of the runestone. The Grimm's eyes glowed at me. I woke up. Spooky. I find myself thinking of the stone. What does it mean and how is it connected to year walking? What did people do in those woods? Don't really know. Could this be a symbol? We do have like half circles and stuff. I will note it. Okay. It's like a D. I do not feel like sleeping tonight. Drinking coffee and watching TV. If I stay awake, those dreams will stay away. Yeah, dude, like what did he tap into? Is it because he touched the rune? Could not understand much of my students' presentations today. Must sleep. Someone is watching me all the time. Oh, God, that's such a bad feeling. I have that feeling sometimes, and it sucks. Got an email reminder to deliver the texts for the game. Wrote 7 or 8 pages. Hopefully it's enough. Waiting. Don't know what for. Have a feeling that something is on its way. What? Texts for the game? This game? Oh, that's definitely a symbol. That's the same D. Should I write it twice, maybe? Received an odd email today. Got over 1,000 of these during last night. What? The emails seem to have stopped when my inbox was full. Don't know what it could mean. Maybe it's a prank by my students, but they seem too unimaginative to come up with something like this. Don't think it will end here. That's weird. Okay. Is it some kind of threat? I don't know, man. Called the priest, told him of my plight. He said that Vedtorp sometimes has strange effect on people, but it's rarely lasted. Do not think he understands. I was going to ask him about the box, but decided to hang up when he suggested I should see someone. Yeah. This poor dude, he's not getting help anywhere. Woke up last night, heard baby screams from beneath the floorboards. Edgar Allan Poe? Are you in my house? Panicked. Managed to pry up some of the floorboards. The screaming stopped. That's terrifying. The Watchers, the Night Raven, the Huldra, the Brook Horse, and the Church Grim. There might be others, cannot be sure. They disguise themselves? Maybe they can read my mind. The Watchers. Because they watch, that's what they do. But is it all they do? Don't know, man. Okay. The Raven, the Grim, assist. I don't know what these other things are. Myling, obviously. Brook Horse? Huh. Year walk equals system error. What does that mean? Year walking works, but it was never meant to. It's against the rules. The universe blinked its eye, and someone crossed all barriers that are known as time and space. The Watchers are watching, but who are watching the Watchers? Good question. Good question. How can you bend time and space? It's the goat. Interesting. If only I knew Swedish. Got in a heated argument with ES. He is surprisingly scornful of my theories. Must remember that he is an old man and he might not be as open to new ideas any longer. He claims that it is impossible to gaze into the future. The future is not set. Nothing happens until it happens. Of course it's impossible to look into the future according to logic, but I'm not sure they are playing according to our rules. The Watchers are more than they appear, and less. They are real, yet they are unreal. They do not exist in the manner that this table and this chair exist. Yeah, they're like ghosts in a different realm, but overlapping. How do I know these things? Are they my thoughts? Am I writing this? I certainly didn't draw this, and yet it's right here in my notebook. A square. I'm assuming these are symbols for the box, because I remember the symbols. They're like circles and triangles and squares and stuff, and like half circles and half squares. Watchers or antibodies? Oh, antibodies. That is an interesting theory. Daniel broke the rules and he was punished. Held another lecture. The last one for a long while, it seems. It's been decided that I need a break, but it matters not. Have more important things to do. He's like really into this now. I've been an idiot. Someone is playing with me. These shapes, it's the same as on the box. Did someone see me take it? Tried the symbols I have received, but the box remains shut. There must be more coming. Yeah, so I think at this point is where you'd probably want to go back through the pictures. There might be more actually in the past, but I didn't see any. Woke up last night, the telephone rang, answered, could not hear anyone, hung up, it rang again, answered. Could hear someone speak on the other side, could not make out what was being said. The voice was too far away, hung up, it kept ringing, cut the cord. Oh my god. I would be having a nervous breakdown. Bought whiskey, bought food, people stare. Don't want to go out there again. Too many know who I am. If you break the rules, there will be consequences. Wish I had not cut the cord to my phone. I need to hear a human voice. Don't dare go outside. At first I didn't even notice. Is it a triangle? Okay. First I didn't even notice one of the paintings in my living room has been replaced. You didn't notice that? Must have happened during the 30 minutes I slept. I cannot let my guard down. Someone was here. Or something. Will the antibodies come for me? Am I a virus in the eye of the universe? Ooh, Illuminati. I mean, maybe, because he knows. Maybe he knows too much. Boarded up the balcony and all the windows. Nothing can come in now, I hope. Shouldn't be possible, but someone was here again. I'm definitely being threatened. There was a knife on my kitchen table. Ah, that's so fucking scary. I realize that the knife is his. We are connected. The church is central to this, and yet it's not. Perhaps the church itself is not important, but rather the energy of the place. Perhaps the gate is always there, but it's not a gate. Gates are meant to be open or closed. This is a rift in the fabric of the very existence of everything. But why allow it? Why does the universe or God or someone not shut the gate? If we're not meant to do it, why let us? Yeah. I can hear the heart of the universe beating. Oh, the goat. The Grim. What is happening? Feel like a worm under a big foot. Feel like the shadow hanging over me, waiting to get crushed. Or I feel the shadow hanging over me. Oh, this is spooky, spooky. She sings and I shall follow. She's trying to fool me, that I know. But I must get closer to her because then I get closer to the key that leads to the heart of it all. Which is literally what we did. Just don't fall for the jump scare. It's terrifying. I didn't steal the box because it begged me to take it with me. No new symbols unless you count this as a circle, but it doesn't seem to stand out. Daniel survived all the watchers sent by the universe. He was lured by the temptress, brought the innocents to the pale horse, unearthed the parasite, and finally faced the master of them all. Yet he was destroyed. Could it have gone any other way? Was he doomed from the start? Am I doomed? Is the future set, or can it be altered? A parasite. I guess, kind of. That kind of makes sense. I see. Must help him. It's the right thing to do. There's a bond between us. Okay. Might have figured it out. 5 watchers, 5 symbols, which means there's one more coming. Okay, 5 symbols. I technically have 5, but probably not. One of these is probably not the case. Because he says one more is coming. So tired. Can't seem to hold my thoughts for any period of time. Should probably eat more often, but I must resist. It's important that I come prepared. Okay. The heart beats stronger, but I will break it and see beyond everything. In the end, it was the nature of man that got Daniel. Must free myself of all desires. That's how they get to you. Can love really be a weakness, or is it a strength? And the poor girl. It just seems unfair. Is there anything I can do? If the future can be altered, why not the past? Ooh. Am I playing the part of the fool in this cosmic play? And if so, to what purpose? Disconnected the microwave oven, just in case. Feeling absolute terror at the possibility that there is no purpose, no rhyme, no reason to any of it. Why me? The only way I can help him is if I break the rules. It will come at a price, but what do I care if I can rise above it all? 2 rules. If broken above it all, and doom. How? Saw her lifeless body. She's beautiful even in death. Have been crying ever since. It all seems so needless, so cruel. Ready for anything. Don't care anymore. Oh. Okay. Cool. It's finally here, the last one. Woke up with this in my palm. Tried to wash it out. It's a tattoo. That's a little spooky. Tested them in all different kinds of combinations, but could not figure out how to do it. I must sleep. I will open the box tomorrow. Wouldn't you think to do it in order first? Of course, so simple. Rotate the wheel and release it when the symbol aligns with the Grim, in the order they were delivered to me. But why was it empty? Is it? Is it? I thought it was Daniel all along. Thought he was here, but I cannot. It cannot have been he who sent me the password. It doesn't make sense. If the box was empty, it means it must be filled. With a heart? I still do not understand who sent the symbols. If it was not the boy, then it must have been the Watchers. But why? Why are they toying with us, helping us in some perverse, twisted way? From the get-go, he was doomed. They got him at the very thought of year walking, but I think the girl can be saved. I put everything he needs in the box and locked it. Oh. I will leave it here where I found it, where all of this started. If my mind is set on this, does it mean that I am doomed too? The rift is open. It wants me to go through. Best time is New Year's? Packed my things. I wonder if I will come back. So we're at the church. There's the windmill. There's the cabin. Soul sortin', it's cold here. Wish I could light a fire, but I must do it right. Surprised how calm I feel. Only hours remain. Oh, we're gonna year walk. It's midnight. Oh my god. Wait. So am I year walking now as him? Let's go to the box. Hello, box. I always assumed the box was floating, but I guess it is just kind of sitting here. Okay, so in the order we received them. Upside down. We need a half circle facing this way. Does it matter which way they go? Maybe not. We need a square. A triangle. And an upside down circle. Half circle. Oh shit. Okay. Kristianstad, January 21st. Yesterday morning, Viltorp killer Daniel Svensson was executed at Kristianstad prison. He was found guilty for the heinous murder of the young Stina Wilson last year. The death sentence has been criticized by the highly renowned Dr. Helmer Lundback, who stated that Daniel is suffering from an abnormal psyche. He seems to have problems discerning past from present and has visions of terrible creatures, something not uncommon among schizophrenics. Daniel cannot be held accountable for his actions and should be given treatment at an institution for the criminally insane. The execution was performed by Gustav Dahlberg. This was his 4th execution. Last year he was to perform the execution of the notorious Lisa Rasmussen, who was charged with the murder of 4 infants in Vedtorp, but who took her own life before the sentence could be carried out. Security has been improved greatly since. Daniel Svensson was composed during the whole process. Besides the slightly shaking hands so common among the criminal type, you could not tell Daniel from any other young men. He sobbed loudly once he had laid his head down low, but quickly regained his composure. A quick prayer and a swift, powerful stroke, and it was over. According to the attending priest, Graneth, Daniel's last words were, "I should have killed myself, then none of this would have happened." You are long dead when I write this, and I have not yet been born, yet we have a connection beyond life, death, space, and time, the impossible made possible by year walking. But the Watchers always win. Even though you've not passed through the rift yet, they sense the urge, and they want their sacrifice. I wish there could be another way. I'm sorry, but for her there's still hope. You can save her. You know what you must do. And the knife. SD, DS, David Svensson. This is my own knife. So do we do it? Oh. Cool. Well, that was a lot of reading. Thank you for joining me. I don't know if there's going to be anything after this or not, so let's just hang for a second. The end. So there's probably nothing more then in that case, right? Oh, it's fading. Walk again. I don't know, can we? Oh my god. Okay, so we might not be able to walk again. So I'm assuming that the true ending is that Daniel somehow time is shifting and like we're able to go through it, cuz like It's so weird though. Like, how do I word? First time through, we play as Daniel, can't open the box. We don't know the symbols for the box. Just can't open it. And then we end up doing the year walking, going through with it, and then murdering Stina. I still don't understand why that happens. Does he think that maybe she, like, when he comes across her, think that she's one of the Watchers, and that's why he murders her just by accident? Is it because they kind of, like, possessed him momentarily and controlled him to the point where, you know, he didn't really know what was happening, and that's why she died? It's not really clear why he killed her. But there's part 1. Part 2 is you're walking again, but it's just like a different timeline. Because that's how time works, is that, so in one time, she dies. Like, no matter what, she dies. And in another timeline, the second playthrough is where somehow, like, how we get our hands on this journal, I don't understand. I don't know how we get our hands on this journal. Particularly because it's digital. It's a digital journal. This is a digital journal. So how does Daniel get his hands on this? Because how else would Daniel get the symbols in order to put them in there? If not via that journal, which is very clearly digital. You know what I mean? Just kind of interesting. But somehow he gets the symbols, and then he puts the symbols in there, then he knows what to do. So in the second world, he potentially probably kills himself to save Stina, which seems like the right thing to do. Although he hasn't even year walked yet, so, like, couldn't he just turn back at that point and not year walk? I guess maybe it might be too late, though. So we don't really know exactly what happens with Daniel, though we can assume. And we don't really know what happens with our other protagonist journal dude, whose name I don't think we know. But we can also assume that he, too, likely died. But yeah, that was Year Walk. Let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know what you guys think about the story, or what you think is, like, actually happening. Because there's, like, a lot of mystery in this, and that's part of why I love it, because you can still, like, consider things after the fact. But yeah, that was Year Walk. This is probably one of my favorite games. It's very spooky, though, and I have to play it only when I'm ready to be really spooked out, because even though it's really serene, even the shaky camera right now on this cabin, like, it's really pretty, but I am expecting a jump scare at any moment. Like, it's unsettling. So, really like this game. Go ahead and check it out for yourself if you like. It is on Steam, and I will see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be. Have a fantastic day. Bye!